2-1 loss team set to lace it up. This ought to be fun, and we're underway on EA Sports. Out of his end zone comes Andy Isabella. And ultimately, he stopped right where he would have been if he had simply gone down to a knee at the 25. They'll start this drive out on the ground. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go as a loss of a yard on the game's first play. Second down.
Overall, I'd have to say that was just really good team defense because, to me, you can't pin that one on the running back. He had no shot there. He had a man in his face immediately.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Here's Fields. There's Chris Olave. To the pitch and catch, good for 11. And that's going to make it 3rd down and less than a yard.
They sure put the coverage guys in a stress on that one. They thought they were going deep. Ends up curling inside for a nice chunk of yardage.
An early test for this defense. Here we go on 3rd and inches. From the gun, they'll try to run it. And he'll be touched down here, but not before he does pick up the first. It's a gain of a yard, and it'll be 1st down Saints. The Saints had 0-1 in the year following the loss in the opener, and they were given a gift of 2 straight home games to start the campaign. Dropped one of them already. You have to figure a split of these two probably imperative.
And they did talk about that with us prior to the game, about how important it is to start the season 1-1, especially with 2 games at home. Because if you go 0-2, hard to make those up on the road as the season progresses. They did a really nice job there defensively. They strung the play out, didn't give them a cutback lane. On each play, you have guys what I call BCR players. Guys are responsible for the bootleg, for the cutback, and for the reverse. They played that one perfectly.
And rode him right out of bounds. They'll throw down the field, caught by his running back. And he is brought down, but not before reaching the 30. That'll go as a pickup of 32 on the catch and run.
Execution was one of their watchwords leading up to this one. And on that play, able to execute brilliantly here on this opening drive.
So the big play has them all the way down to the 30 now for 1st and 10. Now a handoff as they run left side to the 27-yard line.
Give credit to the defense for stringing that play out, and they gave up no cutback angle. You know he was trying to dart through. No place for him to go. A nice job there, only giving up a 3-yard gain.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Hands it off out of the gun. And he's able to get it to the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line. 7 yards there and a 1st down. Quite the opening drive march they're on right now.
It looks a lot like what we saw in practice prior to the game, doesn't it? You know, because on that last big practice beforehand, you go through your offensive script. You go through your play calling. You go through all the stuff and establish things. And it looks like it's going like clockwork right now for them.
And he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. Miles Jack there to make the tackle.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
Counting down toward the midway point in quarter 1. Looking to throw on 2nd down. Fields. And he's got it. Touchdown, Saints. A great play there. His second touchdown on the season. And the Saints will jump on top of the game's first score here this afternoon. The extra point up and good by Garibay. And it's now a 7-0 game. Here is Wisnowski to boot it away following the touchdown. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. First carry now for Kareem Hunt. Trucks over him. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. An excellent way to start the drive there, 18 yards.
That's a nice run right there, able to get to the outside. And so many times defenses say, okay, we've got you hemmed in. But if you're running the football, at least you know where everyone is coming from. You don't have to worry about the backside at all. That allows you to run with a little bit more confidence as you traverse down the field.
And a good burst there gets him 7 up to midfield.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early because they'll pay dividends as the game progresses.
So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. Off-play action. Bryant forced out to his left. And he wisely will throw that one away.
There's nothing like pressure to affect the accuracy and the timing of a guy trying to throw the football. And on that play, they ended up flushing him to his left. Contacted him as he's trying to throw the football, and that led to the incompletion.
So the incomplete pass on the last play, and that leads us to a 3rd and 3. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Into a sea of defenders and intercepted. And the Saints are going to take possession of the football. And this, Charles, definitely not what they were wanting to see. Remember, he threw 3 interceptions in the loss last week, and now he gives the ball away again here in the very first quarter.
And you have to think that this was drilled into him all week, too, by his teammates, by his coaching staff. They've told him all week long, we've got to protect the football. They probably crossed that fine line with giving him the right advice and saying it too much. And it turned out that it got into his head a little bit.
And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Grady Jarrett making his presence felt. He gets the sack.
I spent a lot of extra time preparing for this game watching this offensive line because they gave up 5 sacks last week in their loss. They just gave up another one now. They don't seem to be working together as a cohesive unit. Right? 4 guys might have it right, but the 5th guy is giving something up. They've got to find a way to all get on the same page.
And chalk that up as a 4-yard loss. And now it's 3rd down.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
Going to need a crafty play call here. 14 yards is what they need to try to convert this thing. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Wide open receiver complete. They'll get it inside the 20. Touchdown, New Orleans. Still first quarter, 2 receiving touchdowns for him. How are they going to slow him down?
I think they're thinking about altering their game plan. Whatever they came in with, now maybe you switch a better cover guy to him. Or you make sure you have more people in his general area wherever he lines up to at least try and discourage them from throwing the ball to him.
Extra point up and good by Garibay. And it's now 14-0. Here is Wisnowski to boot it away following the touchdown. This will be brought out from the middle of the end zone. And he's probably realizing he should have stayed in the end zone as he can only muster a return to the 14-yard line.
For most people, the excitement of a kickoff return is to see a long one that goes back in the opposite direction. But for the guys covering it, it's being able to stop them deep in their own territory. How about that incredible form tackle right there? Shoulder in the ball carrier, and down he goes.
And he gets forward up the middle, but only for a couple. It'll be second down.
You've got to be impressed by that defensive front on reps like those. They were not being moved off the line, kept their shoulders square, and gave their teammates time to fight to the ball and limit that gain.
To throw on second down, Bryant. This throw incomplete, nearly picked off. And with his pedigree, he doesn't drop many of those. With third down coming up. So the failure to connect on second down, that leaves him staring up here at a 3rd and 8. They'll bring a receiver in motion right. To throw on third down, Bryant. Open man is Kyle Pitts, his tight end. And he is going to have a Falcons first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
And that's well executed there on third down. And I love the confidence that they had to let their tight end try and find some space in the middle of the field, right in their quarterback's line of vision. And QBs love to make that easy throw, and they hooked up there for a first down.
On 1st and 10, Bryant. And the Saints pressure gets him. Brought down for a sack. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game. 14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. Operating from the gun, Bryant. That's complete to Austin Eckler, the running back. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. And for the Saints here on third down, an extra defensive back on the field. Operating from the gun, Bryant. Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Alontae Taylor. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. Well, this one, it is getting out of hand early. They add a pick 6 to the ledger now. 3-score lead still in the first half.
And all that celebrating that you see and hear from those defenders is not just because they scored a touchdown on a pick 6. It's because they're pitching a shutout in this one. Every defender's dream.
So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. Well, this is going to be returned from middle of the end zone. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. Early on, you know, Charles, every game could be called a measuring stick game, but I think when it comes within your division like this, it's a measuring stick game with a little extra intrigue.
I would agree with that totally, because all division games have a little extra to them. But I like where this game is situated, because at this stage of the season, it has that little extra juice, but at the same time, it's not a make or break if this were, let's say, week 15, 16, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Now a toss left side into the hands of his tight end. So the completion good for 6 yards. And it makes it third down and 2 yards to go. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
They'll try to pick up the first with Eckler. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. Just 4 yards on the pickup, but that's good enough to extend the drive.
I know the game's changed. A lot of people would say it's evolved. Look, I'm a little bit Neanderthal, okay? I love this. No exotic formations, no misdirection. Just line up and run the darn ball, pick up the first down. I love it.
Yeah, 3rd and short, that's what you're supposed to do. Like you said, old school smash mouth football. Now a nice play defensively on 1st down as this is knocked away and incomplete.
Receiver coaches preach to their guys all the time. Separation, that's what's going to make the play successful. That time there was very little, and I think they were actually fortunate that it was only knocked away and not intercepted.
Back to the air on 2nd down. Bryant. And his throw here is incomplete.
Textbook coverage right there. Played the ball, never lost sight of where it was headed, and stayed in perfect position to make a play on it. Able to keep the receiver and the quarterback in his sight lines.
And this offense on 3rd down today, they've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. Back to throw. Bryant. Ball had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going.
All right, help me out here a little bit, partner, because what I'm seeing is a passing game that's just struggled to complete anything. No rhythm, no timing. Seems like every pass is also contested well, so give some credit to the defense.
That'll be a 41-yard punt, just 1 yard on the return. And the Saints will take over with a 1st down and 10. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. It has been about as perfect of a start to this game as these guys could have asked for, Charles. They've scored on their first 2 drives. They still haven't given anything up on the other side of the ball, so they can already make this a 3-score game here if they can come away with points on this drive.
Yeah, they're almost pushing them to the brink, aren't they, partner? Almost to the point now where it's a loss of words for me, which I know would excite all of our viewers, but you're just now supposed to see that type of dominance so quickly in a game like this. Everything they've done has been working so far. Offense, defense, you name it, it's going well for them.
Buying time to his left. Looking left sideline, incomplete.
That was an interesting look there because as soon as he got outside the pocket, I thought he was going to take off and run for yardage. But what often happens now with these quarterbacks who can move, defenses want to try and keep bodies in front of them, and I think that discouraged him from taking off and made him try a pass downfield that fell incomplete.
They come up now 3rd and 5 following the incomplete pass. Here's Fields. And he'll just toss it away. So he throws it away, and that brings up 4th down.
That might be the 3rd down stop that they needed because they've had a lot of trouble slowing down this offense in the first half. This might be their opportunity to get off the field.
.42 yards on the punt, just 2 on the return. And the Falcons will be taking over 1st and 10. About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the 2nd quarter, but you're down. No, but let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. They'll wind up losing 3. And now it's 3rd down. So 7 yards from the 1st down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage. On 3rd down, Bryant. Man open, that's Calvin Ridley. And some room to maneuver. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. A big play there on the catch and run. 31 yards.
It's not a surprise when you read scouting reports and watch tape because you know he's a heck of a player. But he is so difficult to get down in the open field. They just want to get him the ball and let him do his thing.
So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. Running on 1st down, Eckler. And he'll work this forward for about 3 at 2nd down.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature and make sure you don't get hurt.
And down he goes. They sack him back right around the 41-yard line. That time, multiple defenders getting pressure, and it's a loss of 6.
That's a pretty darn good start to this season, huh? A sack in the opener, adds a second one here. That tells you about his offseason. He came in determined to have a big year, and it's paying off.
New Orleans adding some depth to the secondary. They've got 6 DBs out there now for 3rd. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. The 20, 10, touchdown, Falcons. Michael Thomas, his first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Falcons get a bit closer. Koo able to connect on the extra point, and they'll cut the lead to 21-7. Following the touchdown, here's Koo to kick off. Isabella now from his end zone. Oh, a good-looking return set up here. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32. Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. There's really no reason to change what they've been doing to this point. They've got the lead. They've looked good this first half.
I agree with you totally, and a lot of coordinators, play callers feel exactly the same way. Until you stop what I'm doing, why should I make any changes? But there are a few that kind of outguess themselves or try to outguess the opponent, and they try to consider what they would do to take things away and go to those plays right away. It'll be fun to watch when they get to the second half to see which way they go.
Yeah, but to this point, it certainly hasn't been broke. We'll see if they try to fix anything. Looking to throw on 2nd down, Fields. And that's caught inside the 35. And he'll be brought down at the 27.
Big plays are starting to become the trend here in this first half, and everything that they've tried has worked. And there's another example right there.
Things looking much rosier for them here in week 2. They work with the lead as they've got it 1st and 10. Fields. And he will find his big tight end over the middle. And finally down he goes as they work it inside the 10 to the 7. The Saints going to call the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. A chance to really cap off a big first half here as they come up on 1st and goal. A shotgun snap, Fields dancing to his, and he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Carl Lawson with a little how do you do as he gets in there for the sack. Now another timeout called for by the offense as the clock stops here with 46 seconds remaining in the first half. First down, a bit of a disaster, and now on 2nd and goal, back even further. Now Fields. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he'll be out of bounds, taking it just shy of the 10 at the 11 or the 12. They'll wind up getting 7 on the completion, but they'll still be faced now with a 3rd and goal situation. Fields now to throw. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Well, it's been a tough go for them. These guys have been driving down the field, but defensively, once they got their backs to the goal line, turned up the pressure, that's going to lead to a 4th down. Well played.
Garabay's kick is good, and they will open things up a bit more. It's 24-7. So a nice kick there as they are able to add on to their lead.
And that's exactly what you're looking to do. Maneuver yourself into range. That way, if your drive stalls out, you're able to get something out of it. And they do so right there.
Well, here comes a return from the middle of the end zone. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. And with a 3-score deficit staring them in the face, they might have to press the issue here and try to get points out of this drive. And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield. The Falcons going to use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 27 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. The big play to start him out has him at the 45 already. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And that is caught. It's Ridley. And they're going to get this down to about the 37.
Well, these guys have definitely been outplayed in the first half. I like their countenance. I like the way that they haven't panicked out there, the way they're carrying themselves. They're starting to move the ball, and what you have to do, maintain your poise and start to put together some drives.
So it's halftime here in New Orleans with the Saints out in front. As we send you on over to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman in our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, Coach. Welcome back. Charles and I settled into the booth, ready for quarter number 3. It'll be Falcons football, and they trail here as we get back underway on EA Sports. And we'll see a return here from the end zone. And he'll be brought down shy of the 20, so the decision to bring it out of the end zone, not a good one. About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. They look up at the scoreboard facing that deficit. A 3-score game, Charles, but look, there's plenty of time to go here. The old football cliche that comes to my mind is you can't get it all back at once. They probably need something, though, out of this drive, at least 3 points.
Are you trying to say that there's no 3-score drive on that play sheet for any of those coordinators? They just don't have it, right? You're trying to get it all back. You know you can't get it back in one drive. But maybe cut into it a little bit, as you just suggested. Try and create a little bit of momentum, a little bit of a spark, and then maybe that'll carry over.
That one, a gain of 20 and a first down.
Well, we talk all the time about playing situational football. Right now, I think the scoreboard is dictating what they need to do. Where they are in this game, they've got to push the ball downfield, take their shots, try and get big chunks of yardage in a short amount of time. That was a nice play there.
It'll be a gain of 5, and that'll bring up second down. Looked like a pretty good, safe play right there. No, he's had trouble with the interceptions in this game there. Hits his guy on the flat.
And so many times we hear quarterbacks and offensive coordinators talk about in your progressions, you're either throwing the touchdown or you're throwing the check down. But earlier in the game, it was touchdown or interception. Now he got to the check down, a nice safe throw, and a good one.
7 yards there and a first down.
I know I spent a lot of time talking about how tight ends in a lot of cases now are pumped up wide receivers, but they're still big people. He used that frame right there to absorb a really big hit on him and held on to the ball.
Eckler now between the tackles. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. Second down. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the third quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse And I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Handoff up the middle. Hunt. 3 yards on the pickup. That's going to set up an interesting 3rd and about 4 to go. Another modest gain there on that one. And I think, Charles, you can probably pin part of the deficit on a failure on their part to really get this ground game established.
Yeah, they've really struggled to be multidimensional in this one, haven't they, partner? Because they have to be extremely one-dimensional now if they hope to get back into this game. They'll have to do it by throwing the football and hope to have success through the air.
And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. A big 3rd down conversion with a gain of 28.
It's taken a while for this offense to get going. A little creaky at the start, but they're oiled up now. A nice throw there, and they're really putting together a good drive.
Up the middle with Eckler. And they're going to lose some on this play. Being knocked back to the 18. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
This defense is just flat getting after it. They have not given up much of anything in the run game. Case in point right there.
A rare misstep on that last play because the drive has been strong, but now it's 2nd and 12. Operating from the gun. Bryant, touchdown. A great effort there with his first career NFL touchdown. And the Falcons are able to cut into this lead as they score on the opening drive of the 2nd half. Extra point by Koo, up and good. And the lead down to 10, 24-14.
Youngway Koo to kick off for Atlanta.
Following the touchdown, here's Koo to kick off. Isabella now from his end zone.
The Saints take over 1st down 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. And they were terrific in the first half, built up a sizable lead, and it's just been cut into a bit following the opening drive score on the other side. But this is a unit that has to be itching to get the football again.
You can say that again. They've got to be pretty eager because, let's face it, they've had to sit through halftime, then sit on the sidelines and watch that drive. So you can bet that they're saying, let's get on with this. We got to go out there and get some more points.
2nd and 6, just inside the 30. Now it's Fields. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he gets this up to the 34, out of bounds there.
When you execute a drag or a crossing route really well and give them a chance to let it develop a little bit, you can gain some significant yardage hitting your tight end on that one.
So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down. From the gun, he'll hand this off. Room here to run. Touchdown, New Orleans.
I guess when you look back on it, it was just a matter of time until he popped a big one like that. And, you know, at halftime, you and I discussed it. They did a nice job on him in the first half. But there were a couple of occasions where it felt like he might wiggle out of traffic and take it to the house. Finally here in the second half, that got done.
Extra point up and good by Garibay. And that'll make this a 3-score game now. The lead moves to 17. Here is Wisnowski to boot it away following the touchdown. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. About set to begin their next drive. The Falcons offense at the line. They did what they had to do to start this third quarter. Went down, got the touchdown to cut the lead, but the matching touchdown a moment ago, and we're right. And he's going to be intercepted for the third time thus far. Picked off by Alontae Taylor, and the Saints are going to take possession of the football. Boy, so another interception, CD, and it feels like he's starting to unravel a little bit.
And as you would expect, still a work in progress here in his second season. He has to start ironing out some of these mistakes, though, because now his head coach, his offensive coaches, they have to evaluate whether you keep playing him and let him work through it, or you start thinking about going to his backup.
And he'll have a gain of 3 to the 33.
Some teams like to start aggressive to begin a drive, but this is still what you expect to see in normal situations. Just call a simple run, get a few yards to begin the series, and set yourself up for something bigger on second down.
On 2nd and 7, Fields. And he's got him. It's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. Chris Olave, 33 yards. And the Saints are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Extra point up and good by Garibay. And the lead is now 24. Here is Wisnowski to boot it away following the touchdown. This will be brought out from the middle of the end zone. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. About set to begin their next drive. The Falcons offense at the line. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
First down, and they stick with Eckler. 45 yards on the ground for him so far.
Now, Brandon, that's the way you want to run the football. There should almost be quote bubbles above the offense right now. Bam, boom, biff. That's how they feel good about moving the football.
On 2nd down, Eckler. And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down.
It's nice every now and then in this game not to see people overthink it. Just hand it to the old reliable guy. Let him pick up the first down.
So in Saints territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. Hunt will try going up the middle. Oh, and that one well designed as he'll take this down to the 30-yard line. 14 yards there and a Falcon first down.
They're making it look easy out there. Another first down. So far on this drive, let me do this little bit of math here. 4 plays, 3 first downs.
That's a pretty good recipe for success. And he will find Ridley on the left side. And he's brought down inside the 20 at the 18-yard line.
And this has been a nice answer to the touchdown drive against them a few minutes ago because they've come out and reestablished the tempo. A nice throw there, and they're putting together a very strong drive as a response.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. And that one not to be. It's incomplete. So they couldn't hook up as time is now run out on this third quarter of play. Back now here live in New Orleans. A lot of happy faces in the crowd at this point as their guys have a big lead here to start quarter number 4. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Throwing again. Bryant sliding out of the pocket. Throw right side, caught by Ridley. And he takes it inside the 10 to the 8 before he's out of bounds. That catch puts him over 70 yards receiving now as he's got a first down. A 3-score game here late. You can probably rule out the comeback, but Certainly some kind of a moral victory to be had if they can get a few more points to close things out. And to that end, a nice pass play there to push things downfield.
Yeah, and we know in this league, a loss is a loss, and no one wants anything to count as a moral victory or boy, something that feels a little bit cheap. If they trim that lead down to just 2 scores, that's still a benefit to this squad.
And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. The second down play results in a loss of 2 yards. This likely a must-have, 3rd and goal. Looking to throw. Bryant, he's got it. So that'll be no better than an incompletion. And that will bring up an interesting decision here on 4th and goal.
Completed pass brings up a 4th down situation. Do you play analytics on this one? Well, you know, what do your analytics tell you about going for it here? I wonder what they would say.
They tell me you're down by this margin 4th quarter, you're going. As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. And it's going to be batted down. It will go the other way with the football. An incompletion there on 4th and goal from the 3. And the Saints able to come up with a goal line stand. Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. Been a very strong performance for them, really on both sides of the football. The turnover on downs the most recent example, and now, obviously, they're in a great spot here.
Yeah, if you're over on the bench right now, you're shaking hands with your teammate, you're hugging him, giving him a little dap. Been a big, big performance for them. Now you just don't get careless. Take care of the ball on the way out.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. From his own end zone, Fields. He's going to loft it, deep right sideline. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long way out there, but it'll be 3rd down.
I think it's fairly safe to call this game over, but they're still trying to bomb it downfield and add to their lead. Almost makes you start to feel for the defense and root for them a little bit, too.
This offense so far on 3rd down, they've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. To throw from his end zone, Fields. He's going to let it go again. He's got him in, complete. And they'll get this down to the 42-yard line. They have the nice cushion. They just want to pour it on right now, still throwing the football.
And I know my background says, why do you need to do this? Just go and run out the clock and get a win. But as many people pointed out to me, it's a video game, man. Go ahead and put the numbers up. Sportsmanship, not an issue.
Exercise those fingers. On 1st and 10, here's Fields. And he's going to be sacked. They sack him back right at the midfield stripe. Give the sack to Lorenzo Carter.
I know there'll be a little bit of criticism there because they went right back to the air after the huge pickup and end up getting sacked. That's often a play that you make. You feel like you've got momentum on your side.
Unfortunately, the O-line failed to hold up to try to keep that momentum going. And he's going to be brought down inside the 45 at the 43. 83 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long. Backed up here, tough spot, needing 11 yards to pick up the first. Throwing on 3rd down, Fields. He sets to fire deep. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete. But their passing attack, even though that one was incomplete, has been really sharp in this one. It's resulted in a lot of touchdowns, and it looks like they're not going to stop throwing the football until the very end of this one.
Well, that will certainly make everyone involved on offense pretty happy because that gives them all a chance to pad their stats a bit. But as far as the actual need, you and I both know they can just run this clock out because this one, it was over a long time ago.
They'll elect to bring it out here from the end zone. And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line. And now we'll get a stoppage here. There appears to be an injured Falcon on the field. The medical staff will attend to him, and we will step aside. About set to begin their next drive. The Falcons offense at the line. Where we stand right now in the fourth quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things through this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film section in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
Batted at the line, but he still brought it in. And this is going to be another first down as the tackle's made at the Saints' 17-yard line. That one nearly 30 yards, 29 officially. So from the 17 now, here's a 1st and 10. A carry here for Hunt. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. That's over 40 yards of movement with those last 2 plays.
Some big plays in the passing game on this drive, and here's one out of the running game. So the passing game loosening things up. Now there's room to roam.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. On first down, they go right back to Hunt. And he'll get him a bit closer as he's down to the 2-yard line. It'll be a 3-yard pickup, and it brings up 2nd and goal.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big one.
And he will take it in for a Falcon touchdown. Kareem Hunt, his first rushing touchdown on the year. And the Falcons get a small measure of revenge as they cut into this fourth quarter deficit. Koo able to connect on the extra point. And the lead now down to 20.
Saints 41, Falcons 21.
Following the touchdown, here's Koo to kick off. This taken in at the goal line. And he'll be tackled just shy of the 25.
The Saints take over 1st and 10 at their own 24-yard line.
The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. Now they are really in the driver's seat here, enjoying this lead late in the fourth quarter. The defense does have all 3 timeouts, but at this point, doesn't look like it's going to matter much. Now the Falcons going to use one of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. 97 yards rushing for him in the ball game now on 14 carries. And carries like that, that's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out.
The defense can stop it twice more as they take a knee here. Heading into the tunnel as this one ends, and understandably so. Not only did they get the win, but boy, their offense was on fire in this ball game.
And partner, I have no idea what the top speed is,
cars, what's the top gear you can get into? This offense, they certainly were there in this one, huh? Everything clicking for them in this contest, the kind of performance that they're going to cherish.
So for New Orleans, they at least get the win here to earn a split of their first 2 home games. And they'll have another home date next week as the LA Rams come to town. Meanwhile, for the Falcons, they'll drop to 0-2. And they'll look to get back on track next week as they travel up to Detroit